Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Vera Malati, and today I would like to present my thesis proposal with the title The Effectiveness of Picture Series on Students' Ability in Writing Descriptive Text. Why I choose this title? Because many students have difficulty in writing skill. So in this thesis proposal, I use picture series as a media to help students in writing skill, especially in descriptive text. There are three chapters, and the chapter 1, Introductions. The content is background of the research problem, objective of the research, significance of the research, scope and limitations. And chapter 2, review of related literature. The content is writing, picture series, descriptive text, previous related study, and hypothesis. And then chapter 3, research method. There are research design, research variable, population and sample, research instrument, validity and reliability, and then data collecting technique. Background of the study. Most schools in Indonesia have two languages, namely English and Indonesian. English has become very important lately. English is access to international communication, therefore we must use it to face this globalization era. So it is very important for people to have the ability to use English. Besides that, accessing many sources of knowledge and information is easier. Therefore, the Indonesian government has designed English as the first foreign language that must be taught at all levels of education. Writing is usually directed to others for a specific purpose. For students, it can provide opportunities to express themselves in writing by arranging thought on a sheet of paper. Writing can also improve understanding. In English, there are four language skills, namely speaking, writing, reading, and listening. All these four skills must be mastered by students. Descriptive writing is a type of text used to describe a person, place, or object, just as readers can see, feel, hear, or touch it. In expressing opinions is very slow. In the teaching and learning process, teachers only use whiteboards and markers, which may hinder students from expanding their ideas and imaginations. In addition to the lack of vocabulary and grammar, teaching methods also play an important role. It can be seen from the fact that there are still many students who have difficulty expressing their intentions. Picture series is a learning strategy that can be used in the teaching and learning process to improve students' descriptive writing ability. Picture have some benefits such as providing real, creative, and realistic concepts. Pictures can also stimulate students' interest. And then for research problem, is there any effectiveness of picture series on students' writing ability in descriptive text? For objective of the research, the purpose of this study is to know the effectiveness of picture series on students' ability in writing descriptive text. For significance of the study, there are three. The first, for the teacher, this research can support teachers, especially English teachers, to use this method in learning process. They can apply this method to make students feel happy without being bored in the learning process. For students, the researcher hoped that the study can support learners to improve their writing skill. Teaching through picture series will make students have fun in the learning process, and they can improve their writing skill without any difficulty. And the last for other researchers who are interested in conducting research on similar topics, the results of this study are useful for providing information about picture series in the teaching English. Scope and limitations. This research is focused on finding out the effectiveness of picture series on students' ability in writing descriptive text. And the limitations, students of SMK Sore Tulungagung 2020 or 2021. Chapter 2, there are three. The first is writing. Definitions of writing. Writing is a way for people to communicate with each other to express their thoughts and feelings. Writing requires more effort than speaking. Before starting to write, writers need to remember and think about what to write. And then the objective of writing. When people write, they must have a purpose. Everyone has their own goals for what they writers. The objective of writing, there are three. The first, to inform. In most cases, this is only meant to inform readers about the topic. Providing information means sending the reader the necessary information about the topic and usually means telling the reader about the fact or what happened. And then to explain. Writing explain is explaining what is not written clearly. When writing an explanation, a writer who understands a complex subject must ensure that the reader understands it too. And the last, to persuade. If the purpose writing is persuade, you want to influence the reader's thought or actions. The process of writing. There is free writing in practice writing. Free writing is a technique with the main objective of generating ideas. Free writing means writing about everything you can think without worrying about whether the idea is correct or the structure is correct. And then picture series, the definitions of picture series. As English teacher, it is useful to use different versions of the language to help them teach English. They can involve students in themes or as the basic of all activities. And then using pictures in writing activities. The use of pictures can stimulate students' creativity. The picture introduces the situations during the learning process. And then descriptive text. There is the understanding of descriptive text. Descriptive text is a text that usually contains a description of something or someone. And then the objective of the descriptive text. Each text has its own purpose. Descriptive text also has its own purpose. The purpose of descriptive text is to describe and reveal the general characteristic of a particular object, place, or living thing. And then previous related study, there are two. The first with the title The Effectiveness of Picture Series on Students' Ability in Writing Descriptive Text. The author is Eka Rusdiana Putri. The method and approach is quantitative method with quasi-experimental design. The data collection technique using tests, and the result is there is significant difference. In the second with the title, The Effectiveness of Picture Towards Students' Writing Skill of Procedure Text, the author is Umul Mufarokati. Method and approach, quantitative method with quasi-experimental design, the data collection technique using tests, and the result, there is significant difference. And then for the review of related literature, for the hypothesis is there is significant difference on writing ability between students who taught using picture series and those students who are not taught using picture series. And the last research method. In the research design, I use quantitative method with pre-experimental approach. And then research variable, there are two. The first, independent variable. Independent variable is a variable whose state leads to a certain result. It is symbolized by X. In this research, independent variable is picture series. And then for dependent variable, it is symbolized by Y. In this research, dependent variable is students' ability in writing descriptive text. And then for population in sample, the population is all of students of SMK Sore Tulungagung. And the sample from the populations of students with the number 300. The researcher used 50 students per sample. And for sampling, I use random sampling. For the data collecting technique, I use questionnaire and the test. Questionnaire to obtain the data of picture series, and test to obtain the data of students' writing ability in descriptive text. For the technique of analysis data, the validity construct I use content validity, and the reliability using SPSS. Okay, that's enough from my thesis proposal. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.